I hope Avengers sometimes go to Strange, like, I need your help, and he's like, what's wrong? Skrulls? Hydra? And they're like, I'm congested, and it hurts when I swallow. You think they ever approach Vision in a similar manner to complain about how the Wi-Fi router keeps kicking them off the network? Well, now I do! Peter Parker calls Steve Rogers at midnight, and he shows up at Aunt May's in full uniform, shield at the ready. You said something about Nazis? Let's go! And Peter's standing in the doorway in pajamas and, like, Pikachu slippers, and he's like, the AP history test is tomorrow, I need you to tell me everything you know! Alternately, I'm now picturing Wanda going to basically anyone else and trying to talk about some issues she and Viz are having, and universally they all just go, haven't you tried turning him off and turning him back on again? There are so many good comments on this post, but this one deserves a special shout out. So, what do you remember about the JFK assassination? I think I killed him. Alrighty then. This entire thing is glorious.
Instead of making up shitty, racist headcanons about Miles shoplifting, join me in headcanoning him picking up ballet because he thought Gwen being a ballerina was super neat and it would help him in his Spider-Man job. You. Keep talking. Spider strength he can't control, plus lifts, equals hilarity. Miles muttering to himself, do not yeet the ballerina, do not yeet the ballerina. Jumps. Jumps! Miles frantically Googling, how high can normal people jump? How high can ballerinas jump? I don't think I'm supposed to be able to jump straight up to the ceiling, and also I keep getting stuck up there, please help. Once, Miles' spider sense pinged lightly about a balcony set, and he told the crewmaster he had a bad feeling about it. The balcony collapsed later. No one was hurt, but now Miles has to go over sets and pronounce them clear of bad feelings. He's not even good enough to be in shows yet, but nothing goes out without his seal of approval. Honestly, I have known so many stage managers and props department people who are exactly this superstitious. And hell, in this case they're not even wrong, he literally has magic danger powers. I've also known a few dancers, and without exception, the reaction to finding out this boy can effortlessly hold them in a single arm lift, or yeet them dozens of feet in the air and catch them afterward, would be pure glee. Okay, Glinda, look, we all know he's Spider-Man. Kid's terrible at hiding it. But imagine this, none of us tell him we know, and none of us tell him how high ballerinas can really throw their partners. And each class we just keep on pretending like we're impressed with how fast he's improving, but, you know, you still got further to go. Yeah, I see that look in your eyes, Glinda. You know exactly where I'm going with this. How high do you think Spider-Man can throw you? Okay, Glinda, stop giggling. The giggling is creepy. Desi, please make her stop giggling. This is wonderful. One day, in the middle of ballet class, there was a robbery going on a block away, so of course Miles gotta rush over there to help out. He grabs his mask but doesn't have time to put on his whole suit because he said he was going to the bathroom and it'd be weird if he was gone for so long. Cue Spider-Man kicking ass in pink ballet shoes and leggings. This actually increased his popularity severely, and lots of people suddenly gained the interest in ballet. Boys too, because if someone as cool as Spider-Man does it, everyone can do it. When he's back, the instructors don't comment on the rip in his shirt, the dirt on his shoes, or the smear of paint on his leggings. They make sure to treat the class afterwards. After all, it's not every day that Spider-Man stops a bunch of bank robbers and manages to do a high pirouette without crashing through the ceiling this time. This keeps getting better!
Someone. Luke Skywalker beat Darth Vader and ended the Empire. Everyone else in the galaxy. Everyone on Tatooine. Wait, it was this guy? Who is that kid? Imagine being the local jock from Tashi Station and turning on the news to learn that the guy you called Wormy in Desert High School just killed the two most powerful people in the galaxy. Tags via Jackass45. I think a lot about this. Like, the guy was a weird, excitable nerd, but you had to tolerate him because, inexplicably, he was stupid good as a pilot, like the T-16 orbital drop Womp Rat champion since he was 13. So you couldn't just ignore him and his fucking nerdery, and his being super awkward constantly. And one day his farm is burned, and his family is dead. You assume he's dead too, and you feel kind of bad for mocking him now. But then space radio is like, Luke Skywalker blew up a space station, Luke Skywalker killed the Emperor, and you just kinda hope he never decides to get revenge for the wormy thing? Oh, also turns out he came back to town and killed the mob boss who controlled everything, and then left again without buzzing any of his former acquaintances, so probably you're beneath his notice. Mixed feelings about that. I just realized that Han never knew that Luke got his hand chopped off while he was in Carbonite, and I don't know which path I want to follow with this information. 1. Han seeing Luke's injured hand after the sail barge battle and thinking that Luke has been a robot the whole time. 2. Luke shaking his hand with a super firm grip and Han just thinking, wow, this kid has gotten absurdly strong. 3. Luke just pulls off his hand one day and throws it at Han. 4. Luke picks up a space chicken carcass and crushes it with his bare hand, and Han is intimidated. 5. Han says, "It's good to see you're alright," and then Luke says, "Well, actually," and pulls off his hand, and Han falls over the back of his chair. 6. Han says, "It's good to see you're alright," and everyone gasps and Leia says, "Too soon!" and Han is confused and they all just rag on him. 7. Han needs a battery, and Luke just opens up his hand and pulls out a battery and gives it to him, and Han just stares. 8. Luke reappears after a mission with all the synth flesh off, and Han says, "I thought it was easy, but you lost your hand?" And Luke just says, "Oh no, I lost this before Endor," and Han is hurt and betrayed. 9. Luke keeps making hand puns and limb puns and raising his right hand to high-five Han, and Han just never gets it. 10. Luke excitedly tells Han as they're waiting to be taken to the Sarlacc because it's been a whole year that he's wanted to tell the guy. Luke and Chewie are playing a game, it doesn't matter what. Han comes over and does the whole Wookiees tear the arms off the people who beat them thing to try and tease Luke. He doesn't know that Chewie and Luke have been preparing for this though, and after Luke wins, Chewie pretends to be mad and rips off Luke's hand. The Millennium Falcon would wipe out the Enterprise in seconds. Lamau, the Enterprise is just an innocent science class floating through space. All they want to do is look at some rocks, kiss an alien, find some space plants. Why would you fight that? It's not a battleship, they're just nerds. Leave them alone! A friend of mine saw this and brought up some interesting arguments. Okay, I'm gonna have to step in. The fucking Enterprise has beam weaponry and shields and torpedoes and a whole bunch of other shit. The goddamn Millennium Falcon is a smuggler's ship. OMFG, did that post get spit out from my queue? It has 2 manned turrets, and that's fucking it. I don't even think it has fucking shields. Yeah, it did, and I am livid, because it's fucking biased bullshit. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure the Enterprise is like half the size of a Star Destroyer. Oh my god, I know just what to do with this response. Hang on. So in other words, pretty much. Here, have some size comparison. Who wins in a fight? A fully staffed Navy research vessel, or your local weed man and his best friend in their souped-up VW bus?
Steven Universe ended on a great note, but now I just really want a spin-off series about Steven traveling across America and inflicting his own brand of weirdness on people. So this guy walks into the diner. I say guy because I had no idea how old he was. He was either a very tall child or a baby-faced grandpa. He's wearing a bright pink varsity jacket and flip-flops, and when he's done with breakfast, he gives me a $50 tip on a $5 breakfast. So now I'm thinking, oh, I gotta know more about this guy. And I ask him what he does for work. And this guy looks at me, and he looks like the oldest man in the world, and he says, and I quote, "I used to run a school, but I retired because the stress was killing me," and walks out. I think about him maybe once a week. I really love being a creator sometimes. Last week I was at a local con selling enamel pins, and this teenager, I think he was a teen, but he looked like a giant toddler, comes over in his gaudy as heck pink jacket. Face as fresh as morning dew, but he's got a real tired look in his eyes.
until he sees something out of the corner of his eye that makes him light up. Like, I swear you could see stars in his eyes. Thing is, I used to be big into a silly show called Crying Breakfast Friends, and still had some pins left in the grab box. Never sold a lot of them because the show was old by now, and those were some really early pins I made, so they were not the best. But he goes absolutely feral over them, so I say he can have them for cheap. He's about to pay when he sees my other pins and their prices, and insists to pay full price. I'm taken aback and for some reason try to argue, but he says, "Look, you are not my mom's. You can't survive on love and light alone." I sorta didn't process that, but this was more focused on stopping that boy from overspending on some crappy pins, because he seemed real nice. And then he just follows it up with, "I get it. You don't think they are as good as the other ones, but you put the same work into them as the others. They are an important part of how your art became yours, and that's why they are some of the most important pins you ever made." This kid nearly made me choke up, and I gave up arguing against getting more money. So we start talking about CBF. It felt really good to talk about something that you thought only you cared about with somebody else, and we really got along. And the kid used to be a super fan, used to make reaction videos and fan art and role-played with his breakfast, even made breakfast OCs. The last thing he didn't really want to talk about because he got real quiet all of a sudden. How can breakfast hurt you that bad? But I managed to cheer him up by saying I'm gonna make more CBF pins and would send him some. He was super grateful and told me to send it to the beach of his city. I wanted a real address, but he said the postwoman there would know what it meant. And just as he leaves, he says, "My therapist said I should reconnect with the things that make me happy to combat my PTSD and existential dread. So thanks, you really saved me here." Boy, you're 16, you're welcome, but what the hell? Update. I found his TubeTube account, and yeah, there's all the reaction videos, but also he apparently used to be part of Sadie Killer and the Suspects? Like, he played a bit of guitar with them and documented their sessions and uploaded them, and his dad was the manager that launched them because he asked him to do it? What? I have so many questions! Like, did the rockstar life give him PTSD before they even got big? Does he have a dad and two moms? Was his dad his mom? Is this a trans thing? Who is that sweet boy? Second update. Apparently his dad is an underground rock legend and a millionaire cause his song appeared in a Sprite commercial. I'm done. How are people real? From the blog of a pin designer.
Still feel like we have not appropriately tapped into the comedy goldmine that is, Dracula's first canonical appearance features him wearing a goofy hat and a huge false beard. This is uproarious. This is rib-tickling. This has so many implications. Where on earth did he get the beard? He lives in the middle of nowhere, and all of his neighbors are too terrified to cook or clean for him. Where did he find someone to sell him a false beard? Was it mail order, the way presumably all of his books and maps are? Did they even have cartoonish disguises available by mail order back in the late 19th century Romania? Did Dracula have to sew it himself? I need to know these things! Chaos has theories. Truly, you live up to your URL. Clearly, Dracula goes out irregularly as his own servants. The people in the coach weren't surprised to see him as his coachman. He goes to town in his huge floppy hat and hoidly-toidly tells everybody that his master wants this and his master wants that. And if they don't comply, his master is going to be angry and scary. And anyway, he's having the time of his life. He's convinced that he's fooling everyone. He is not, but the point is he can just buy whatever and the people will be equal amounts terrified and annoyed, but they'll get it for him. Dracula Daily. Genius. I like to imagine the villagers are terrified of him, but also aware that he is rich as Midas and out of touch with humanity, so they just charge him a markup of 500% and call it a day. Over the years, he has become the village's primary source of income, and this is the true reason he's been allowed to stay. Dracula strolling to the village to buy a roast chicken for his good friend Jonathan. It's one roast chicken. How much could it cost? 1603 Romanian lei? I realize something important. People deciding on Dracula daily, Dracula deciding on people daily. Okay, I'll bite. Love that the new Tumblr Blorbo is for the most part not being referred to as a Blorbo. He's not my Blorbo Jonathan Harker, he's my friend Jonathan Harker, which we seem to have all agreed to call him before the May 7th installment, where we learn that Dracula also calls him my friend Jonathan Harker. I guess what I'm saying is Dracula is one of us. Regardless of where you stand on the did Jonathan Harker eat hell spicy paprika or sweet paprika debate, I'd like to enter into discussion the fact that he did eat the whole meal, deal with the nightmares, and then eat that shit again the next morning. So regardless of his relative state of spice tolerance, at absolute minimum he was not a little bitch about it. Jonathan trying all the locked doors in Dracula's castle for the umpteenth time. Mina writing a loving and hopeful letter to her dear friend Miss Lucy. So it's like this, eh? Jonathan Harker hiding his flip phone under the table, frantically typing in order to text us word for word Dracula's insane speeches. Hey look, Ma, I made it! I am getting somewhat suspicious of this Count Dracula. Jonathan wrote that he is behaving kinda oddly, and that he is talking as if he'd been there for all of those historic battles centuries ago. What really tipped me off though is that he calls himself a Dracula, which, yes, could just be referring to a person belonging to House Dracula, but Dracula also comes from the Latin word for dragon, and according to some legends, dragons can take the shape of a human at will. So currently I'm thinking that our friend Jonathan Harker might have been imprisoned by a dragon. I love how some people are like, how long will this Tumblr Dracula fad last? Excuse me? You're asking that while Supernatural's 15-season corpse is still being paraded through the streets? Of people who read Homestuck? Have you seen the joke about the color theory? Angry neckbeards in 2007. I wish those ignorant Twilight girls would read Dracula and know the true terror of the vampire. Those same girls 15 years later reading Dracula as part of a giant internet book club. Fucking hilarious. Teaboo Dracula is the funniest thing I've seen in years. Dracula as overwrought housemaid is a close second. Himbo Jonathan Harker, paprika the spiciest spice. Everyone making fun of my good friend Jonathan's priorities as if we didn't spend the last 2 years following the most inconceivable ordeals with, welp, gotta go to work. Jonathan Harker slowly becoming aware of the mortal peril he's in and describing his fear. This is just like how Hamlet from my plays must have felt. I'm sorry, but every new response he has to something is so funny. Practice social distancing. Stay at home. Hey guys, I just want you all to remember that social distancing is important in order to minimize the contraction of COVID-19. So make sure to stay in your homes. Even if you are at a young age and have no prior health issues, it's still important to be mindful of those who are of older age and have health issues that could potentially interfere with their recovery if they contract the coronavirus. So as a service to your community, it's important to remain enclosed in your home. Stuck, if you will. Now go do something fun from the confines of your house. Perhaps play some video games with your online friends. I'm bringing this back because I don't think enough of you were forced to look at this. I'm going to kick your ass. I will hurt you. OP, I'm going to mail you a timed grenade. Hate this. I hate this. I've never gone feral so quick. Fuck you. Delete this. I hate this post. Swims, you're a great friend to me, but I hope you know that this post makes me want to hurt you. Least fave. Is this Homestuck? Jesus Christ, you Tumblr users will start screaming over the smallest things! Distance, dickheads! Don't be selfish! Oh, you sweet summer child. That is not why they're mad. Your formatting, use of smiley faces, and amount of capitalization needs work, although your intentions are without fault. I'm sorry, I didn't realize my English teacher uses Tumblr. You realize your pitiful attempt at an insult says you think I have something to teach you, as a teacher does by definition. Therefore, you are calling me smart. Work on your grammar and your insults over the weekend if you want to earn back some credit. Sorry to inform you that the formatting of the post and the smiley faces are clearly part of the joke. What joke? Homestuck. KUNGPOWPENIS. Great post, everyone! World Heritage Post! Holy shit! Happy 413! Actually, it's 612 because I was too late to do 413, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Hey man, you got some weed? If I don't keep my buddy Kyle constantly baked, then he just kills people 24/7. I'm begging people, stop putting accidental Homestuck on my dashboard. It's shaving years off my life. What the fuck is Homestuck about? Polyamory isn't the solution to a love triangle when two of the people hate each other. I mean, yeah, not if you don't understand quadrant vacillation. Hang on, I need to Google something. Fuck you. Cannot stress enough the importance of having a bucket in your house. A big plastic bucket helps with housework, helps with morale. Get yourself a bucket today. You can really sense the Tumblr user base aging. I'm afraid to say this is a post that would have done numbers in like 2013 for other reasons. Is this a Homestuck reference? You will be a mere atom once I am done with you. Hung out with a dude once who, when he learned I can identify all the zodiac symbols on site, informed me he normally considered that a red flag and there was no normal way to be like. Well, first of all, you should respect astrology bitches more. But second of all, it is a red flag because it indicates I've read Homestuck. A flag even redder in ways he couldn't even conceive. Homestuck? Lamau. Me playing a Nancy Drew game and having to put the zodiac in order. I was like, sigh. Arcadia, Tavros, Solix, Carcat. Not to be that guy, but it's me, boy, the PS5 I'm speaking to you inside your brain, or however that meme goes, is also a Homestuck plot point. Boy, listen to me, boy. Leave the purple text. We don't need it, boy. No, yeah, this did happen. Everyone on 413 crawling out of their secret Homestuck bunkers. I assure you, we are all still fundamentally the same bunch of losers. When someone calls you out for making a Homestuck reference, but they were the one who got the reference in the first place. Homestuck police. There should be dating apps that don't allow normies. If you put your star sign or anything about astrology in your bio, you get instantly banned for life. No, it's just my patron troll symbol, I swear! You do get how that's worse, right? You said no normies, what do you want? Monkey paw.